then he transitioned into wrestling. I was like, oh, this is just perfect. Like he's so good at this. So what have you learned kind of working with him?
Tom is, I mean, talk about a guy that is so talented at every combat sport imaginable. MMA, I've seen him tap out belts before in straight jiu-jitsu competitions. You know, now in pro wrestling, I think he's one of the gold standard, highest level guys to transition and do it so well.
Mm-hmm.
He loves the game. He loves wrestling. You know, he's a natural entertainer that, I mean, his mind for wrestling, his mind for putting on a show is, I think it's extremely underrated. I think the world's going to start to figure that out, be like, wow, this guy is something else. Being on the G1 tour with him last year, or I guess now a year and a half ago because we're in 2024 now, wow. You know, spending 6 weeks in Japan, tagging with him, making town after town. We were all over Japan and just getting to pick his brain. He just has that. He has that brain for wrestling, and I'm really lucky that Team Filthy and Filthy Tom just saw something in us when we came to New Japan and was like, "Yep, West Coast Wrecking Crew. Those are my number one draft picks," and selected us because it's been, I think, one of the biggest things that's helped my career over the last few years. And I mean, 21, 22, and 23 have been the best year, and then the best year. Every year it's been getting better of my career. And I think I owe a lot of that to Filthy Tom.
Now, I mean, we are, as we're recording this, we're in the first month and actually the first full week of January. What for you does 2024 look like?
I think my big goal is I want to get over to Japan more. I want Team Filthy to be a bigger part over in Japan. I'd like to get some, I have a tour. It looks like March, most likely, in the UK. So I'd like to get out to the UK at least once or twice to wrestle, maybe some other spots in Europe. Obviously, doing my thing here as well domestically, in the US, you know, singles and tags and six-mans. My thing is I want to get a little more solidified, as we were talking about earlier, having that sense of security. So I'd like to, you know, whether that looks like an actual contract somewhere or if that just means making more money or whatever it is. You know, I'm not a young buck in the game. This will be, I started a little late. I started a little later. I started at 25, but in April, it'll be 10 years since I started training, and in, I want to say June, either the end of May or the beginning of June is my 10-year anniversary of wrestling. So I think that the good thing is I'm having some of the best matches of my life, and so I'm just working as hard as I can, doing my thing, and like I said, every year has been getting better and better. So I think it's one of those things that as always, I just grind harder and harder. I have the best matches possible, put in the work in the gym, nutrition-wise, and you know, I think 2024 is going to be a really, really big year for me, and so now it's on me to go out there and perform.
I love that. That's so awesome. I was going to mention, you're going to be your 10th year in the business. Looking back, what would you tell yourself 10 years ago?
You know, I think the thing is, when you first get into it and you think you're going to get this all figured out so fast, and you know, like I don't know, I thought I would. It's an interesting dichotomy because on one hand it's like, oh yeah, I'd probably be like 7-time world heavyweight champion by the time I'm 10 years in or whatever. But at the same time, I've created so many memories and done so many things in wrestling that I never thought, you know, I would ever be able to do. So I don't know if I would tell myself too much because I would want to enjoy the ride and experience all the things and have that fresh in my mind and not have too high of expectations. And even the mistakes and the fumbles I've made along the way, I think they were a really important part of what made me me, and I wouldn't change that for anything. So I guess if I went back in time and told myself something, I would just say, smile and enjoy it, man.
I love that so much. Now, as much as this is a physical sport, it's obviously very much a mental one as well. What kind of mental workouts do you try to do for yourself and kind of keep yourself sane?
I think mentality wise, I think one of the best things that keeps me calm and not panicking when the bright lights are on and when I'm doing something new, like let's say I'm, the first time working in Japan, or the first time working in the Budokan or somewhere where it's like the harder you work, the more prep that I put in, the more hours I put in the gym, the more match study that I do, the more catch wrestling training that I do, the more that I just expand my repertoire. I think all of that stuff gives you that confidence. The harder you work, the more ready you are, the less there's that, oh man, am I going to go out there and they're not going to like me? They're not going to cheer for me? Am I going to go out there and I'm going to get blown up and I'm not going to be able to do my next, moves because I'm too tired? So I'm definitely of the mindset of I want to think about stuff. I want to visualize, but I don't want to get lost in my head. And then I just want to work hard and let that, the more prep that I put in terms of like being focused, I think the less nerves you're going to have, and the more you can take those nerves and calm yourself and say, hey, no, this is what I was put here to do. This is exactly what I want to be doing. So let's go enjoy it. I think that kind of is what's helped me, no matter if I'm in front of a brand new crowd and there's 2,000 people out there, or if I'm in some high school gymnasium and there's 200 people there. It's like, okay, I know what I'm capable of. I know what I want to go out there and do. And I know the work that I put in. So it's time to go out and execute.
That's so awesome. I'm glad that you are realizing that. And I know that, no matter who you are in what field you're in, as long as you have that goal and that passion and you don't allow yourself to kind of get stuck in the doubt and stuck in the what if or what could, and you're not always going to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but you have to make your own light and know that it's always there so that you can continue to go forward. And it sounds like that's exactly what, you're able to do it. And I really love that.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I think it's one of the things that I've taken from, my amateur career in wrestling and football and whatnot that's really helped me out mentality wise is having years and years of competing already. Is like I've had my years where in high school or early college where I was very unsure of myself, where I'm backstage dry heaving before a wrestling match. It's halftime and I'm like, how are we going to pull it together in the second half and pull this off? And I've had that kind of trial and error to realize, okay, this is when I perform best, and this is what is helpful. These are the things that I should be considering in my mind, and this is what I can't control, so I should ignore it. I think that kind of stuff is invaluable to me. So I kind of try to take that sports mindset that I've had my whole life that I've honed and use it when it comes to my wrestling.
That's awesome. Now, I have a segment on the show. I call it the 5 count. It's just 5 random questions. Just answer as quick as possible.
Got it.
What is your go-to breakfast order?
Are we talking like cheat day, or are we talking like?
Oh,
normal?
Yeah, go. Well, you know what? Let's do both. Because that obviously you got to watch what you're eating during the week, and then you got to have cheat days. Otherwise, you're gonna go nuts.
Absolutely. If I'm staying more on the healthy side, probably some kind of like oatmeal with some maybe some like Fairlife milk, so there's like a higher protein, and then maybe if I can get like a protein bar in there or some little extra bit of protein, I'll do that. Or if I'm gonna have like a really hard workout, maybe I'll have like grains or cereal or something. Not anything too sugary there, but like, you know, a little bit of extra carbs and whatnot. If I'm on a cheat day and I'm really not caring, bacon, eggs, sausage, big old stack of pancakes, hash browns, maybe some corned beef hash. Like I will throw down on some breakfast, but also I will go like breakfast burrito is probably one of my favorite cheat meals. So but that's like not even breakfast to me. That's like a breakfast burrito is an anytime on a cheat day activity.
I get it. It sounds like your cheat breakfast makes The Rock look like he's just having an appetizer.
You know, I know he has his wild cheat days. I would be down to sit down with him and see who can throw down and eat more. Because I mean, if you ever talk to anyone that's had a meal with me, they will tell you it's I mean, I start sweating. It's intense. I'm like, I want to say that one time I didn't even realize it, but I had this huge, like this burrito that was the size of my arm after a New Japan, and I want to say that Eddie Kingston and Jarrell timed me. I didn't even realize it, and they were like, oh no, he's gonna get this in under 2 minutes or something. Like it was like I just smashed it. I didn't realize. I looked up, I was like, huh, and they were like, don't worry about what we're doing. but no, yeah, I can eat with the best of them. So if The Rock wants to have a cheat meal with me sometime, I'm down, man. We can throw down.
We're putting it in the universe that you and The Rock are going to have cheat meals, and I just want to be there to observe it. I mean, so that's all we want to know.
I would be honored. I would be honored.
Me too. I'd be watching you guys go at it, and then from what I hear, Jeff Jarrett can also put a lot of food in packs. So I'm very curious on that one as well.
Hey, let's do it, Jeff.
Yes. If you owned a liquor company, brewery, winery, or coffee shop, which one would you own, and what would the name be?
You know, I'm not as much of a beer drinker as I used to be, because of the carbs and whatnot. But
a lot of carbs. Yeah.
I do think as a Colorado boy, I have to do brewery because that's just like a Colorado thing. I don't know if you've ever been out there, but you can't grow a rock without hitting a brewery. Yeah, so
I want to spend
at
least 2 weeks out there is what I want, is my goal, and I probably wouldn't even hit half of them. So.
Yeah, no, there's no way, but there's a lot of great ones. You know, it'd be like Royce's Rocky Mountain Brewery or like the Mile High Samurai Saloon or something like that, you know?
I like that. We could still make that happen. I think there's time in the world.
All right, well, I'll look into the trademark or whatever. I think we can get started.
There we go. If you were to work a trilogy with any wrestler from the 20th century, who would it be, and would there be any gimmick matches? Now, I say this, and you have to think, if you're facing Rey Mysterio, you're facing Mysterio from before 2000. Same thing with Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and then obviously, you know, other people that have had a career and maybe even better, like in Shawn Michaels' case, after 2000. However, this is the 20th century, so it's, you know, 1900 to 1999.
Oh yeah, easy. Stone Cold Steve.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Just Stone Cold.
That was my guy, and well, he was already Stone Cold by that point, but I would take any iteration of Steve Austin. That's, to me, greatest of all time. And, you know, I don't know. I think in ring, on the mic, everything, he just had it all. People who know, but a lot of people sleep on how freaking good he was in the ring. And I think the physicality he brings, and, no, he's tops to me. It would for sure be any iteration of Steve Austin.
There we go. Even his knowledge for the business, listening to him, you know, with those, obviously what they have, the Stone Cold sessions, but before that it was the Stone Cold podcast, and I just loved listening to him talk wrestling with, like, Adam Cole, I think, was the best episode because the way those two were going back and forth about